Good morning. I'm here with Amy Tysseling, candidate for Blue Valley School Board. On behalf of the Johnson County Public Policy Council, thank you, Amy, for being here today. The Johnson County Public Policy Council is made up of 10 chambers of commerce in Johnson County. Our goal is to provide information about public policy issues impacting area businesses. You ready to get started?
I am.
Good. As a candidate, what are your top 3 policy issues?
When it comes to looking at policy issues, I think one of the biggest ones is related to school finance. As we've looked at the situation over the last couple of years, I think that it's important that the district continues to work with legislators in terms of communicating what's important to the district and what's needed to ensure that we can continue to offer services like we have. The work that the Kansas Supreme Court as well as the legislators have done in terms of protecting and restoring funding have definitely been a step in the right direction. But I think in order for us to be able to offer the same or better services to our students, additional funding is going to be needed over time. So I think that is a very important one. The next one that comes to mind is just policies or support of mental health. And I think that today's students are under a great deal of pressure, and the Blue Valley School District in particular, in partnership with other districts in the county, have been working on Zero Reasons Why. And that's just a piece of the puzzle in terms of trying to get to the bottom of some of the issues that have risen, and to make sure that kids feel like they can talk about things. And maybe when I was younger, it wasn't okay to talk about that kind of stuff. But I feel like now we've opened the door so that we can talk about stress and anxiety and other mental health issues, so that hopefully we create an environment where kids don't feel like that's their only resort, when we talk about suicide in particular. So I would say my time on the board, just in the last year, we've spent a lot of time talking about that and what we can do to help protect our kids. The last one I would say is just around a different, when kids graduate from college or from high school now, again, referring back to when I was growing up, it was you go to a 4-year college. And I think in our county, often that's the expectation, and in Blue Valley's district as well. And one of the things that we've worked on is trying to expand the opportunities for kids. So partnerships with Johnson County Community College. We've also worked with other districts in the area just where they've been able to help our kids with different options. And so I'm excited about that, because I feel like we need to understand that it's not cookie cutter, that not every student is going to go to a 4-year college, but rather maybe community college makes sense. Maybe there's a trade they can get into. And so really digging more into that and making sure that students know they have options, and we plan ahead well enough that they can take advantage of those while they're in high school, I think is really important.
The Kansas Supreme Court recently ruled the current school funding formula is both equitable and adequate. However, the court retained jurisdiction over the case to assure the funding is maintained. Briefly, what are your thoughts on the new formula and the additional dollars that have been added to the school funding budget?
Well, we definitely, from a district perspective, believe that the work that the Kansas Supreme Court did to protect those funds was a step in the right direction. So we believe that's the case. Similar to what I talked about a little bit earlier, I think that is a step, but we still are going to need additional funding down the road in order to make sure that we can provide the same or better services that we have until this point.
And along with that ruling, when the Supreme Court said that funding formula was constitutional, I think it's likely the legislature will look closely at accountability measures for student performance. Can you describe the accountability measures you support and that you believe are reflective of student achievement?
Yes, I think that academics are always going to be a measure of achievement, no matter what. We're lucky in this area that academics are strong, and I think that that will always be a focus. So whether it's ACT and SAT scores, national merit scholars, or just an overall focus on graduation rates, I think those types of things give a picture as to how the district is performing. For me, though, I think the success of other aspects of school are important as well. So, special ed is an area that we feel like, from a funding perspective, could use more focus. And so, to me, focusing on special ed, some Blue Valley also offers the Blue Valley Academy, which is for high school students that need an alternate path, or we have an 18 to 21-year-old school as well for kids that are almost adults, right, that need another option. And so I think really looking across those different avenues and making sure that we are looking at the success of those, I think, is important as well. The other thing I would say is just, our teachers are what help us ultimately to allow our kids to be successful. So retention rates of teachers, particularly special ed's been an area where we've really tried to do more to help with retention rates. And I think if we can show the state that we're doing everything we can to maintain those high quality teachers, that's a great piece of the puzzle as well.
Kansas is experiencing all-time low unemployment rates, and employers are struggling to find qualified workers, especially in the technical and skilled trades. How do you see the Blue Valley District helping to meet our business community's future workforce needs through technical education and training?
That's a great question. So I think the partnership that Blue Valley has started with Johnson County Community College is a great example of that. So this is the first semester that we've had that partnership, and students are able to go to Johnson County, get credit with Johnson County as well as with their high school, and make progress to just try things out. Construction management is one as an example where our high school students are able to go and take courses in that area, and in many cases they'll be able to graduate from high school but also have enough credits that with an early degree in that area as well. And so for students where a 4-year program isn't the right thing, I think this is a great opportunity for them to, one, try something out and make sure that it is something they're interested in, and two, ultimately be in a position where they can go to work as soon as they're completed. There's definitely other programs already in place, and we've worked with other school districts, Olathe in particular, in the past, and their programs are so popular as well that they've said, hey, we have to kind of let go our own, and so Blue Valley's taken that as an opportunity to say, what can we do? Another example is out near Blue Valley Southwest, there's a new fire station being constructed, and there's going to be room in that building for classrooms as well. And so students would have the opportunity to go ahead and start studying to be a firefighter, and potentially at graduation be ready to go. And so I think other trades, whether it be automotive, welding, things like that, those are all areas we're exploring. And also partnerships with companies in town like Garmin and Ford and others that we can figure out what their needs are and try to match that up with what our students can become skilled in.
And other than funding, what do you see as the greatest challenge facing the district?
I would go back to the social emotional learning piece of it. I think mental health is such a key part of what our students are facing today. And to me, that's the thing that probably keeps me up at night the most. Just really making sure that we have the resources within our schools and the county to give those kids the support they need, I think is the most important. I think especially being a newer board member this year, just the conversations that we have, or when we hear about students that felt like their only out was to take their life, it's something that has hit home to me. I have a son that's 10 years old, and I want to make sure he has that support and he has what he needs, along with all the other kids in the district, so that they feel like they can talk to somebody and really vocalize what they're feeling.
Well, Amy, as we wrap up, can you tell us why you're seeking public office?
That's a great question. So I grew up in Kansas City and have never strayed too far. And I feel like this is a place that I'm lucky to be a part of, and I feel like being a part of the Blue Valley School Board is a way for me to give back. I work here in the community as well, and this is such a great outlet for me to not only learn, but use skills I have within the district to help students ultimately be successful. And so I hope to receive your vote, and I believe that I can do a great job in this position.
Well, we want to thank you for joining us, and we wish you the best of luck with the election.
Thank you.